Hey guys, welcome back to the Project Blue build series. This time around we are going to be configuring the PowerBox and hopefully getting all the servos working so the model is getting really close to that maiden flight. Let's roll the intro and get going. So before we get into this magic box of tricks, I've got two things to say. Firstly, small confession, I've never configured one of these before. So we're going to be learning that together. This is a PowerBox Competition SR2, I believe. We'll check it out. I do have two other PowerBoxes, but they're in models that I brought secondhand, so they're already configured. So we've got to work out. Secondly, just a shout out to Aerobatx, who have actually supplied all the equipment for Project Blue, including the PowerBox, the servos, the receivers you see going, and also the battery packs as well. So cheers Clive, and thanks Mandy. Right, let's open this up. Okay, so the bench is a bit messy because I've been working on the project, so ignore all that. We've got enough space here. Right. What have we got inside? Let's start off with the main unit itself. Why am I making hard work out of this? There we go. Shiny, shiny. Yeah, there you go, SR2. PowerBox Competition SR2. The display port, switch. This one supports dual receivers, which I will be using. Data, fast track, no idea what that is at this time. RX1, RX2, tele, battery 1, battery 2. So definitely be using two batteries, definitely using two receivers. Then on the other side, we have all the ports for different servos. And they are nicely labelled. ABC on this side, so on and so forth. My main reason for using this is dual receivers for redundancy, dual batteries for redundancy, but also so I can use servo match because each aileron has two servos controlling each control surface, so 4 in the wings in total. Right, let's see what's next. Switch and display. So I use PowerBox switches in a number of my models. You would have seen that. So rather nice. Turn the model on, then turn each battery on independently. So you'll remember, turn it on, 1, 2, turn both on, you get different light systems for that. But you can also use this, I believe, to program the PowerBox itself by putting it in program mode and using these arrows to select up and down the menus. And then that just plugs in. Move that out of the way. And then we have a display. So apparently, well, I know these are super bright because I have one in the other extra, but these are super bright LCD displays, so you can even see what's on them during a very sunny day when the sun's shining down there. Okay, they help us get the model set up easier on this model compared to previous PowerBoxes which had much smaller displays. We have a couple of wires and some grommets and bits and pieces, probably for mounting the display down inside or even mounting the main unit. Looks like they're for the display actually. Nicely provided template, switch and display. German instructions. Oh, there we go, no, support for them. That's good to know there's support for that. You know, it's pretty key when you're doing something new as well that you can able to reach out and ask what's going on. Oh, there you go. There's a nice picture of the display there, showing the voltage of each battery, so on and so forth. So some instructions which I will be going through. So okay, this is the first time I've set one up. So I think what we're going to do is let's just do it all on the bench right now. I'll go and get some spare servos. I'll get the batteries and we'll just get it set up on the bench. I'll probably grab a laptop as well so I can look online. And yeah, let's just get it turned on. So before we hook up, let's quickly go around what we've got. We've got two OptiPower batteries, 3,500 milliamps. They'll be going in the model. 2S, of course. Got the PowerBox, as we've just said, with the wires, instructions. I've got two S-Bus receivers, which are the R703 SB, 7003 SB. So they are, as like I said, S-Bus, just to go in for redundancy there. I've dug out 4 spare servos, which we can hook up. And of course, I've got the transmitter ready to go as well. So what I'll do, just quickly plug this in, get a new model memory set up on the transmitter. Yeah, and then power it on with you. Right, so I've plugged in at this stage, but I've not turned on. So I think this is correct. So again, it's the first time I've done this. Obviously the easy ones are display in, making sure that the ribbon cable is the right way around. Switch in, again, making sure the ribbon cable is the right way around. Switch is there, current upside down. A couple of servos, I've gone into A, B and C. Sorry, no, only 2, A and B. 2 at the moment. The receivers via S-Bus, I've gone into RX1 and RX2. Now on the receiver itself, this way I might have it wrong. I think I'm reading this correct. It's kind of telling me that S-Bus 2 port is on the right, and I think it's the lower one. So it might be wrong. Not tried it yet. Done the same on both. And then I've got the batteries, nice and easy. Just plugged in, nice and tight actually, with those clips that secure it in. So let's turn it on. Let's get back on the stand. So this will either do nothing or something. Let's move you out of the way. I've got the tranny ready. The transmitter's not bound to the receivers yet, but I will turn it on. Start again, let's do a new model. Right, that's better. Brand new model, going to linkage, going to system type. This is where we're going to bind the receiver. I'll rename it later on. Right, let's get the switch. Hiding away, take you off. So I think hold 1, red light comes on, then press 1 battery, 2nd battery. So 2 blue lights, nice and bright. And we can see the screen has come up. So what we've got on the screen, I think you can see that, guys. So 1 battery, 8.3 volts, the other one 7.7, that's okay. Not drawing hardly any current at the moment. Both receivers, neither receivers, I think they're transmitting. Not quite sure what that means. Might have them the wrong way around. Let me see if I can bind to receiver. So go back to transmitter, to press the link switch, turn on the receiver power. Probably should have done that first, turn it back off. Wasn't quick enough, let's turn this back off again. What I'll probably do is unplug one receiver because I want to make sure I bind the right one. So unplug RX2, go back into the link menu, turn on just 1 battery for a minute. Right, and it can't see the receiver, so I suspect the receiver is the wrong way around. I mean, the fact that we've not got a light on the receiver, I've probably wired that in incorrectly. So let's just try this quickly. It's not 100% clear. Of course, I could just go and check one of the other models, but where's the fun in that? There we go. RX1. So you can see I had the wire the wrong way around. My fault completely. But at least we've got the red light flashing on there, which means it can't bind at the moment. So if we turn this back off, did tell you guys it would be trial and error. Back on, close, link against RX1, cycle the power. There we go, we've got a green light on the receiver, first receiver. And we've got, oh, there we go, link established on the transmitter. Hit close on that. Now on the receiver type here, I'm going to set that to dual. So you can see receiver 1 is linked and bound. Now I want to link receiver 2. So same process. So first of all, let's turn the system off. Red light, push battery 1 off. Plug in the second receiver. Make sure the white wire is on the outside. Into RX2 hole. Now if I hit link, I think you guys can see that on the second receiver. And then power on, just 1 battery per minute. And then we've got link established. Hit close on that so you can see. Now I wasn't expecting that. I thought we'd have the IDs on both there. So it looks like to me it will only be established on 1 receiver, not both. But we can test that. I mean, they've both got green lights in fairness, so I might be wrong. Both running a green light. But what we can actually do is, once we've got some servos moving, I will pull one of the receivers out and make sure we still can control the servos. I do like a bit of a test, swap it back over, then pull the other receiver out as well. But for now, let's just leave that on there. I mean, I'm expecting an ID up here, to be honest with you, where it says RX1. Let's see what else we've got. So obviously nothing's moving right now because we haven't done any setup. What have we got on the screen? Nothing next to the RX1 or RX2. That's flashing around. RX1 fades 0, whatever that means. RX2 fades 0. Lost frames 0. Battery voltage coming through. A little bit more current being pulled now, 0.6 of an amp. So this is where I'm going to need to consult the manual quickly to use this to get it into setup mode. Right, so didn't need to go far. To access the main menu, you need to hold the set button, press in for about 2 to 3 seconds, after which you then select the desired menu using buttons 1 and 2 within the individual menus. The selected menu point is always displayed in red. Press the set button once you've selected it. So it's only 3 buttons. Let's see if we can work it out. So let's keep an eye on the screen. Sorry, I'm going to hold it for 2 to 3 seconds. 1, 2. Use the setup assistant first. Okay, let's zoom down slightly on that so you can see it. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, zooming wrong. Let's see, can I just put it on there? That'd be easier. Not the easiest thing to do when you've got wires everywhere. I could have made a little board up to put all this on for you guys, but to be honest, I'm just keen to get it going. Let's move the camera. Oh my god. Right, let's do that. And then let's adjust this. Right, there we go. It's in the corner of the screen. Hope that works. So you said use the setup assistant. So I'm going to use buttons 1 and 2 to go around this. Oh, exit. No, keep going. Assistant. Let's see what else we've got. P bus. General. Input. Outputs. Gyros. Okay. Outputs. Okay, that looks like all the output mappings. A to whatever was on the back. T, I think. V, sorry. Right, I've gone round. Okay, let's go into the assistant. So I'm going to hit the right hand button to go into it. There we go. Wing type, tail type, vector. Let's go into wing type. Normal. Let's select a normal. No. Delta. Well, it's not delta. Let's go for normal. Tail type normal. Let's go down, pressing the wrong buttons, Matt. There we go. So that one moves forward. There we go. So next screen. Ah, here we go. Servo count. Aileron right. So let's enter into aileron right, and we're going to have 2 servos on aileron right. Let's enter again. Go to the next one. Oh, that one. Aileron left. We have 2 servos on left servo. Elevator's got 1 on the right, 1 on the left. Let's just come out of that menu there, go to the next one. That's correct, that's correct. Rudder, right, no, we've just got 1 on the rudder. We said that before, we've got 1 powerful PowerBox servo on the rudder. We're not running dual rudders, servos. Let's go next. No RX signal. Oh, and we've gone back. Okay, interesting. No RX signal. Well, there's definitely 2 green lights on the receivers. As long as I plug them into the right S-Bus channel, let's just go back to that same setting again. I think it'll be that one. No. It's not gone to next, is it? Let's go through these. Next. Okay, so it's saying there's no signal, so I may have something not quite wired correctly. So give me a second, I'll get that sorted out and we'll come back. Okay, we're back. I think it looks like I had this in the wrong port on each receiver. So although the receiver was going green because it's bound to the transmitter, it wasn't actually powering the PowerBox correctly. I've got a feeling there might be a setting that I need to change on these receivers, but I'll come back to that. I think there's a mode setting we have to change. But right now I've just swapped the wire into the top port, which obviously lines up with S-Bus 2 on both sides. And now without doing anything, both these servos have initialized onto the right stick, so aileron at the moment and elevator. So let's go back to the setup system, which is where I left you just a minute ago. No input channel assigned. Okay, getting all confused here. Let's come out of this. No input channel. I'm sure somebody's probably watching this who's done all this before and thinking, yeah, I've missed one vital step. So there's inputs. But it did say in the instructions, just go to the assistant. So I'm going to try that one more time. If we can find it, outputs, sequencer, matching, iGyro we're not using, exit, assistant. Let's try this one more time. Go past the wing types. Still remembers aileron right, to left, etc. Let's keep going. Go through that menu, otherwise you don't get the next up. There we go, next. Aha! So it's obviously got a signal now. So function, move the aileron stick quickly to detect the channels. Oh wow. Hold on, what's going on? So I basically just, no, you can't see that very well, but I did just move the ailerons really quickly. And then on here, first of all, it looks like it's matched them straight away. But it said aileron right is channel 1, aileron left is channel 2, and they matched outputs AB and PQ. Now in here, I'm put into A and B, but I'm not sure where P and Q. Oh, okay, so P and Q would be the other 2 aileron servos which aren't plugged in. So if I grab another servo, here's one I found earlier, and find out where P is. HIJKLMNO, where's my alphabet? Here it is, down here, which I think should be that one. And grab a 4th servo, different head on this one, so ignore that. And put that into Q, which is next to P. I'm pretty sure we can change these assignments if we want the servos in a particular way. So now, let's just see what happens. And zoom out a little bit so you can see the transmitter. Hopefully that works for you. Not the best angle, small workshop. I'm sure I've mentioned that in this video already. So they go left, but the ones on the right aren't moving. Okay, so that doesn't look quite right to me at this moment in time. Just double check I've got it in P and Q. I have. Probably helps if I put my bins on. Yep, It's got to that stage in life. P and Q. Ah, Matt, you're an absolute idiot. I've not gone into Q, so I was rushing. Let's try that again. Right, we have some movement. Let's try again. So, right stick. Oh, they seem to be matched to the elevator. What is going on here? So, we've got right. What? They're sort of taking it in turns to move. How bizarre. That's an interesting setup. Am I doing something stupid? Aileron right should be on A and B. So they that is aileron right. So they should both move together. They should both move together. Check on my wires. Yeah, we're doing right. Let's just go left. Yeah, they're all, it's just sort of taking it in turns to move at the moment. And for some reason, they're moving on the elevator as well. So that is just all weird. Let's go back. Learning together, guys, learning together. You see the screen there. Let's go back. Might be because I didn't have it all plugged in correctly. So aileron right is 2 servos, aileron left 2 servos. Next. Right, move the aileron stick quickly to detect the channels. So I'm going to count of found channels does not match. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Might have to read some instructions. Right, I'm going to do that and see if I work out what it is, and I'll let you know. Alright guys, I've worked it out. It was me being, well, not being an idiot, but not getting it right. So first things first, forget what I've just gone over here. I'll cover that in a second. What you want to do is when you set up a new model, which I've done here, you want to go into your linkage menu. Make sure the model type is correct. So mine's just, 2 aileron as I've changed this to, because I was on 1 aileron before, but I've actually got 2 ailerons, so 2 different channels controlling the ailerons. And then go into your function menu and make sure you've mapped the extra channels. So bring that right up close. I've covered this before in a couple of my other videos, but make sure elevator 2 is mapped. So channel 5, elevator 2, J2. Doesn't really matter on the channel number at this stage, but these weren't mapped before. Elevator 2 and aileron 2 were not mapped. So I've just mapped them to the joystick and to the trim. And again, you do that just by selecting in there, saying which one it is, elevator 2, saying what joystick you want it on. In this case, it's J2, up and down. And also don't forget to also match the trim. So it's on trim 2, again highlighted down here. Do the same for aileron 2. So that now, the transmitter is now transmitting the right signals on those channels. So there's no way the PowerBox is going to set it up properly unless you've done this. Again, if you've got multiple rudder servos, you'd need to do the same for rudder 2. But I haven't. So that is all we've done in there. So once that was done, I haven't done anything else on the transmitter. It's just new model memory, wing type, functions. I've then gone and plugged in, as you can see from this array of servos, extra servos. So down the bottom, this is simulating one of the ailerons, 2 servos on 1 aileron, 2 servos on the other aileron. I've put in a rudder servo, which is just a single servo. Again, these aren't the actual servos I'm using, they're in the model. And I've put in 2 servos for the elevator. Ran out of servox, so I've just picked up an old servo there. That's all I've done. So now we're going to go through the setup system. I've reset all the settings, done a reset on the PowerBox, nice and easy to do. We are still bound to the receivers. By the way, I did get both receivers bound this time round. Oh no, linkage, system type. As expected, you do need both receivers being registered. So I just went back through the bind, by pressing link underneath each one, independently plugging one in first and then the other one in first, so linking them separately. Hopefully that makes sense. So now let's go back into that setup assistant. There we go, that kind of works there, that angle. Right, so here we go again. Using the switch to go into the menu, hold 2 to 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, in the menu using button 1 and button 2. I've only got one battery on at the moment, that's absolutely fine. So let's go round. There's the assistant, which is the wand. Power button to enter it. Wing type, I'm leaving all those as normal. So that, I'll just show you those settings again. If I want to change the wing type, I can go into that, change it. Is it Delta wing? No, I'm not flying Delta. That's all you've got in there, or normal. On the tail type, you've got Tailorons, V-tail, or Delta. Obviously, if you change it to Delta, it will change the wing type to Delta as well. So let's go put that back to normal. And vector is for vector thrust. If you're flying turbines, vector thrust. I've not got that far yet. Don't fly turbines. Maybe next year. Need a flying site. Don't get me started. Anyway, moving on before I go into a rant. So setup system, all normal there. Hit next. And now, as before, so I've assigned 2 servos. Just said the count on the right aileron is 2, the count on the left aileron is 2. Now, just as an FYI, these power boxes go up to 3 servos per aileron. So 6 servos. So my big krill extra has got, actually it's got 4 on each aileron, my big krill. It's probably got a different power box in it. We'll check that out in another video once I get out flying. So aileron right 2, aileron left 2, elevator right 1, elevator left 1, rudder right 1, and then that's it. So let's go to the next menu now. Ping, over to next. Right, so that servo just moved because that is plugged into one of the aileron channels. So what it's telling me here, at the moment there's no channels mapped because I haven't moved the sticks on the transmitter, but it's saying the output is A and B for the aileron right channel. So over here, if you remember, you can just see that, about all these wires knocking off. You've got this label system here, which just tells you what letter each of the slots are for the servos. You can completely reassign that, and I will do that once the PowerBox is in the model, because I don't want these wires in these particular slots. I want one aileron to one side, one aileron to the other side, etc, etc. So aileron left is on P and Q. So I've made sure they're plugged into the appropriate outputs. And then I'm going to move the transmitter stick. So zoom out very slightly for you guys. That'll probably do. So just going to move right and left, and you can see already it's mapped. Channel 1 is worked out is aileron right, channel 2 is aileron left, and that's because I've just assigned the functions on the transmitter, and that is where I was going wrong before, but not assigning what the functions were. So you can see already it's matched them perfectly. It's probably a bit hard to see with different heads on them, but you can see they're moving together. And this is the thing that I was worried about the most, because if these, say, if they're paired to one control surface, one aileron, and they're not moved in time, you're going to twist the aileron and probably damage it. Which is why I wanted to do it on the bench first to understand it. Let's do it again. Left, right. Lovely, nice and easy so far. So let's go back to the screen, zoom in again, get a bit focused. So that is the aileron channel done. And then if I just hit the next button again, which is the one on the right, and now it's saying do the same for the elevator. So it knows there's 2 servos just off screen there assigned to the elevator, because again I've set the function on the transmitter. So elevator right is plugged into D, elevator left is plugged into the L, outputs from the PowerBox. Let's go up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And you can say again, it's mapped it to channel 2 and 5, which are the channels, again, I've assigned on the transmitter using the functions menu. I know I'm labouring the point, but this is a bit of a tutorial and a learning curve for me. And again, already you can see that those just at the top of the screen here, on top left, they are moving together. So both in the same direction, together, because that's what they need to do. Let's hit next again on here by pressing the button. And then we've now got the rudder. So it's on output H over here. It's a nice black cable, easy to see. Rudder servos just at the top of the screen here. So again, I'll move the stick. There we go. left, right, and it starts moving as soon as you're finished. And you see already it's mapped at channel 4 off the function menu. Job is a good one. Let's go to the next menu. What's this? Gain rotary for the main functions. I haven't got this far before. Gain main function. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to read up on that in a minute, but I'm just going to go next onto the next menu. And that's it. So this is really cool with the SR2. The earlier PowerBoxes didn't have this assistant built into them. So you had to do a lot more of it yourself, which is fine. But the fact they've just built this in, it's just a case of going bang, straight into the assistant, plugging the servos into the right holes, and then you're halfway there. So what I could do next is, if I can scroll through, not the general settings, not the inputs, but the outputs, which are obviously the servos. This is where you can then reassign, hopefully you guys can see that, the mappings. So I can see at the moment that it's saying output A is one of the aileron right servos. So I come in there and say, actually, I don't want that on output A, I want that on a different output, reassign that, and everything should still work, which is what I will do when it's in the actual model itself. All right. Pleased with that so far. Okay, so the next step is for me to actually get all this stuff, well, mainly the power box and the batteries, set up in Big Blue. What I'm going to do is actually stop this video here, because I think this will just be a nice introduction to PowerBox for people to see on the channel. And there's obviously a whole bunch of extra settings you can do in there, so I'm just going to use this as a bit of a quick start guide. We will, car alarm. We will continue going on with the build series. So make sure you check out that video, which will come out directly after this one. And then hopefully that will be the last one of the build series as well. We'll get the model finished off. Great stuff. I'll see you next time around.